Hi, my name is Danielle Fogelman. I'm a senior at Mount St. Mary's University, majoring in psychology. For my 20% project, I decided to research Chinese culture and its effects on fashion. For starters, I needed to get a general idea of what their fashion sense was like. So to do this, I looked through some magazines, and I realized that it was really kind of similar to American fashion. There was similar styles, trends, and even like the age groups that they were trying to target were all similar. Then, after getting this kind of idea of what their style was like, I went to history and to see how history affected these styles. And so the history had like expectations of what we're supposed to wear, and it was mainly conservative and modest, not too not showing too much skin, being very proper and elegant. And this was due to representing their family, and it showed like their selves. They said that clothing represents your qualities as well as your family as a whole. So if you dress provocatively, you're disregarding your family and negatively representing them. With that being said, I looked into how history has evolved. And we see this in kippos, especially because kippos were traditionally worn almost every day. They were long, they were loose, and now you see them not as often. They're typically for weddings or beauty pageants, and they're form fitting, and they're shortened, and they're very extravagant and showy. Since I noticed that they were in a lot of like weddings, I decided to take it in that direction. And I went to look at what traditional wedding dresses were for the Chinese culture, and it was red. I found the theme red going for like every kind of wedding I looked through, and I wanted to know what the red stood for, and I should have known it was for love and prosperity. So I took this idea and I thought about how American weddings typically the themes are very interchangeable. Like you can do any color. There's a variety of things you can do. And the dresses typically are white, which represent like a christening of the gown. And so it's like you have this two different cultures combined. So it brought me to the new idea of assimilated like Chinese women in America in comparison to the traditional Chinese women. So I tried looking through like episodes of Say Yes to the Dress for this kind of like comparison, and I kind of didn't get the result I wanted. It was really hard to find certain things that show or certain episodes that showed the comparison of the two. However, what I did find was that there are generational differences between the bride, which is typically more assimilated than her mother or her grandmother, and their opinions on dresses very like usually were controversial. So there would either have to be some kind of give and take in that kind of relationship. So with that being said, it was really based on an interdependent versus an independent kind of sense, and the fact that one style would be I want this kind of dress. I've been assimilated to this kind of culture, so I want to be like that culture. Or it was the I want to go back to my roots and interpretate my own personal culture in the wedding I'm having. And so there was a big back and forth debate of those two. And I feel like assimilation is a big thing in America in itself because it's a big melting pot. So you have different cultures together. Another thing that I found very interesting and helpful was that um, Chinese China, I'm sorry, was they had their own culture, so it benefited when you're kind of compare China to America. You see the differences and contrasts. The main thing I learned was that like, China, while it's different, there are a lot of similarities in their expectations of people, their styles. They're all trying to like move forward. And you see the modern styles more similar to our style and how we progress forward through our history of fashion. Whereas like others could stay still very conservative. We try to push through. Same with China. They've become less conservative but still trying to keep that like society expectations. That's my project. Thank you.